Cure intro.
Cure. Welcome to episode 13.
13!
Of We're Just Haters, the theater podcast. And I don't know what's happening. Why are we coming back to the National all the time?
Because we can't help ourselves. You know, when they have that big old electric sign that scrolls what's happening up front, like, it's like a fly to a lamp.
Like a
and you
fly
end
to
up,
a
yeah, and then you end up getting killed, essentially.
I said because we just like, you know, we need to keep the hatred alive, so...
And I think, you know, this is a lesson in... Even the institutions that you would think would put on fantastic work most of the time, no one is immune to putting out not good things.
Yeah, but I feel like the National is very good in putting not good things.
Yeah, well, according to us, there's only one thing we liked from them in this season so far. So
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And I was like, why we keep coming back? Is it like, do we want to be disappointed? Is it because this is what we know? You know what I mean?
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Horrible relationship that makes sense just because you're used to.
And this is probably why they're not going to give us comps, because we just, you know.
They will never get
It won't happen.
I mean... National and the Bush are not gonna give us comps, and very befitting because we went to see the play directed by the artistic director of the Bush Theatre.
Oh, yeah, well.
Our favorite new writing theatre.
You know, London theatre is small, so like everything is connected.
I love the Bush. Like, I love the idea of the Bush and what they do.
It's the idea. Yeah, you said idea. That's not saying.
I love the idea. I think it's like, and I love the building, and I love, you know,
the library's cute.
Yeah, and you know, they're supporting new artists. So I like the idea of it. And the premises of the plays that we go and see there as well.
That makes us want to see them. But then when we actually go and watch them, we're just like, what is this? First draft, people. Anyway, we're not talking about them. We're talking about this show called Alterations, which is by Michael Abensets.
Mm-hmm. So, should we go straight to the National?
We should. Back in the past.
Flashback. So yeah, we have the pre-show animation. Yeah. Welcome to yet another episode from the National Theatre. What is happening, honestly?
Oh my god, we keep ending up here. What's happening?
What's happening?
Maybe it's because...
I spent years not coming here because I've been traumatized.
You know what? I think it's partially because, like, we've had episodes that we were going to do but didn't happen because it was so bad. Shows at some other places have been so bad that we just didn't feel it worth doing an episode.
Probably. I don't know.
Maybe that's why.
So we're here. Alterations. We have a pre-show animation, the actor with a little radio and some Caribbean rhythms. We see a little atelier set, beautiful costumes,
sewing machines and whatnot.
Machines.
I just know it's about a Caribbean family in London, I think.
Yeah, I think
in the 70s. And they run a dry cleaner, alteration, a tailor shop.
It has
That's all I know. Nothing else.
One of my favorite theatre actors, Renata in it, so I'm already a fan.
All right, okay.
Yeah, we have some serious wines happening. Yeah,
I love a good 1970s costume. The people just dressed better then, I'm just saying.
Oh my god, people had swag.
It was the style, the everything.
People had swag.
Seriously.
It's an hour 55 no interval, so we're gonna see you after, I guess.
See you after.
Bye.
You know, I think that intro is like an indicator of what's to come. About our feelings. We didn't know it yet, but if the energy level was an indicator of what we're going to go through. Seriously.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
So what does a National Theatre website say about Alterations?
Oh, well, when I said it's by Michael Abensets, it says at the bottom here, additional material by Trish Cook. I didn't realize that.
Saw that.
I wonder what the additional material is. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Of course, they always have to start with a quote. Mm-hmm. Is that what you want? To be an underdog all your life? Walker Holt has big dreams for his tailor's shop and an even bigger order to complete. Oof. Over the course of 24 hours, he must work tirelessly to satisfy his new clients' impossible tailoring needs. But as the night goes on, it's not just the trouser hems that start to fray as tensions rise and Walker's friendships and relationships are pushed to their limits. Will his success come at a cost? But what price is he willing to pay?
Dun, dun, dun.
But at the bottom here,
yes,
it says, celebrating this award-winning writer, the reinvigorated version of his seminal work illuminates the Guyanese experience of 1970s London and the aspirations and sacrifices of the Windrush generation.
One of the first things Renata said after seeing this play, she was like, I'm not going to remember anything that happened. And I already forgotten, obviously.
But luckily, because yay for access,
they
have a play-by-play on the website, so we can refresh our memories.
Yeah, so thank you, Access Guide, for providing us with
thank you to
very
the
lovely
Access team.
Yeah, actually, a lovely Access Guide whilst we're on that.
Big print, love it for my terrible eyesight. Big photos,
it has
very easy to read.
Like, trigger
love
warnings.
to hear it.
It even has like different levels of sounds and explanations of different sounds throughout the play, so people can get ready. That's very good. Actually, a shout out National Theatre for your access efforts.
Yeah, because we've worked at other places where they could not give a flying. A certain theater that will remain nameless.
Hey.
But,
Hey.
Anyway, they don't get that much traffic, no way.
Anyway, yeah, people, shout out to
this bleep theater.
Should we just shout out?
Let's not. I don't know if she's litigious or not, so let's
yeah,
be
that's
quiet.
true. That's true. That's true.
Sure. She could be though.
She could be.
I mean, we all know she's sensitive about her
we're
shit.
We're gonna see her like outside our house, just with a candle, with a lit candle.
Anyway,
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Those of you who know,
are you okay?
If you know us, then you know we're talking about. Anyway,
so as you heard, the play opened. There were pre-show, audience interactions, so different characters
who weren't real characters.
There were the ghosts,
essentially, of the present. Yeah,
but the guy. What was the guy with the radio though? Because he didn't feature in any of the.
No. But I'll tell. You want me to give you the answer? I'll tell you why after looking at the cast list. Almost every single person that were not speaking are the standbys and understudies. Almost every single one of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I thought. But then...
But why are they on stage?
Anyway, we let's not jump the gun. So it opens with random various people.
On a bike, the guy with the boombox dancing for his life, interacting with the audience.
All that.
Some other gentlemen dressed nicely, interacting with each other.
Yeah, and then the play starts, and then we see Buster, the character, and he's in that atelier shop, and he's calling maternity ward because his wife is expecting to have a baby any minute now, but she's still,
laboring.
Yeah. So then Walker comes in, the owner character played by Rinza Kenna. Oh, and he got like a huge deal with Mr. Nat.
Who's a businessman who has a clothing store or something?
Yeah, like I don't know, it's a wholesaler or something, but like a big, he made it big, basically.
Yes, and there are hundreds and hundreds of pairs of trousers that need to be hemmed, essentially.
Yeah.
And there's only two of them because there's only Buster and Walker in the shop, and Courtney doesn't sew. Courtney is their van driver, is their courier.
Like a young
English boy.
Young kid, and between the two of them, there's no way that they can get this work done.
Yeah.
And what Walker is hoping is that this job, because he's been saving up to be able to buy the flat, because their shop is on Carnaby Street,
Yeah.
and so he's been saving to actually buy it, and with this job he will be able to purchase it, to purchase this shop, to actually own it and not be a renter.
So it's make it or break it kind of situation.
Essentially.
So stakes kind of high.
In order to do this, because between the two of them they can't get it done. Walker hires Horace, who's another tailor that they know, who, neither Walker or Buster are big fans of Horace.
Yeah.
Because they think he's sly, they think he's a bit...
he's a bit of a character.
Yes.
To say the least.
But they really have no choice, because they know his work is good, so they have no choice but to bring him in to do it.
So they bring in the nemesis.
We also get an unseen character, Liz, who Walker keeps talking to on the phone.
A white gal.
And it's a white gal that, he is...
his girlfriend, basically.
Getting to know biblically on a regular basis.
Yeah, his girlfriend.
But of course, we learn that he's married, of course.
Of course he is.
To Darlene, who works at a factory.
Yeah.
And that they have a daughter named Janet.
Oh, Janet. We meet Horace, who's like this spicy little
very
gentleman.
well-dressed man.
I mean, they hate his style. It's definitely like unusual. It's a peacocky kind of situation.
Very peacocky. But to be honest, he's only slightly overdressed compared to how everyone dressed back then anyway.
Yeah.
Only slightly overdressed more.
It was like more that crushed velvet.
Yes.
I think ensemble.
Burgundy-ish, wine-colored suit.
Yeah. Horace. Oh, because Walker can't really pay Horace.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a bit... a bit shit. But he agrees to be paid later, but then I think doubles his fee or something.
Yeah.
So, but they make a deal and they all start working, and it's like just endless amounts of trousers. Oh, we forgot what keeps happening as well whilst all this happening. We have different weird interludes, fantasy moments when the ghosts start coming.
Yeah, so we have two ghosts who are dressed up in not 1970s but 1940s style clothing. It's a couple, it's a man and a woman, and it's oh man.
Yeah, let's just say what's happening without judging. We listen and we don't judge. So they just come in and kind of stare at Walker.
And Walker, they make eye contact with Walker. Yeah. And there's the moments when Walker is envisioning his future where the lights shift and he's like in a single like weird lighting because he's in a dream sequence envisioning
seeing it.
His goal, envisioning his future.
Yes.
And then he snaps back out of it weirdly. It is well, anyway.
Yeah, and then there's this other ghost. Oh, but I think he comes in a bit later.
Yeah, way later.
Let's leave it.
Yeah.
Because, guys, you're not ready for the second ghost.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Or third ghost.
So then Darlene enters. And basically, she lost her job in the factory. She's essentially a single
They live separately, though, but we find out that they live separately.
And he doesn't really see his daughter, even though he keeps promising, like, yeah, I'm going to spend time. But he's just...
all talk.
Yeah.
Because he's either at work or he at Liz's house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and he works a lot. And he spends a lot of time with Liz, I'm sure. I'm sure he's being entertained.
And she calls multiple times during this whole day.
It is like, she needs to get alive.
Yeah.
She needs to relax.
I mean, once she go black, I'm just saying.
Also, as well, she knows he has a woman. It's the whole thing. She needs to get some serious therapy. Darlene is like, I need cash. And Walker is like, I can't give you anything because this is a big opportunity. He wants to expand his shop and buy
all
his
this
shop.
money needs to go to buying the shop.
Yeah.
Which means no food for you.
Yeah, so basically a woman, stop, interrupting me with your
I'm going to make it happen, I promise.
Yes. And then it's going to be great for all of us. Anyway, so...
in the end, of course.
Yeah. Oh, and then the Horace...
yeah.
sneaks, like kind of slips her some money.
Yeah. And he likes... and Horace is sweet on Darlene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's very sweet on her. He asks her about the baby, about Janet, and asks her how she's doing and stuff. And so you can tell he cares about her because everyone knows each other, obviously. So yes, and he gives her a little money.
And you can see there's like some little something from he definitely has a sweet spot for her. And then, so they keep working, more and more trousers coming. I really actually enjoyed the amount of trousers.
There's so many trousers in this.
So many trousers.
Khaki, dark blue, gray, black, mini trousers.
Yeah, I really, it was quite sitcom-y.
Very sitcom-y.
It was like, it felt a bit sitcom-y.
Even like a tad slapsticky in some areas.
So yeah, and then what happens? Oh, so they continue to work, but then... So it says, but Horace had enough and wants to leave. Oh, I think he just wants to leave. There was no argument. I think he's just like, yeah, I had basically...
Walker does say, like, no, you cannot leave. Because Walker's like, we're going to work until 10. But he's like, sorry, I have tickets to the theater.
Yeah.
So I'll see y'all later. Because he wants to be an actor.
Oh, yeah, because he has different ventures.
Yeah.
So
you got to have your hands in multiple pots.
Yeah, he was making films, I think. Yeah. Now he's an actor.
And a tailor.
Yeah.
Renaissance man.
Renaissance man Horace. Yeah, so he basically, leaves.
Yeah.
So he leaves them. And then Horace goes to see Darlene.
Well, he runs into her, though, on the street after she goes get groceries with the money that he gave her.
Oh, yeah, true.
And so Horace is like, look here. I'm the man for you. Your husband don't care. I will provide for you. Mm-hmm. I want you to marry me. And I'll take care of your daughter.
Yeah. And she was like, what?
But I'm married. Oh, no, I shouldn't betray my husband. It's not decent.
And he's a waste man.
When you're ready. When you're ready, I'm here.
He is a waste man. Leave him, darling.
I mean, and fair game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, Horace, I don't know if he's that much better.
Maybe not. But the fact that he saw an opening and went for it immediately.
Hey, gotta respect the game.
Exactly.
A woman like Darlene is, it's rare. She's a lovely lady. So yeah, and then...
Buster wants to go because, his wife is still in the hospital laboring. And Walker is like, please stay. And Buster says, okay, I'll stay. Which is like crazy to me.
Yeah.
What?
Again, just leave your woman when she needs you.
But that's because he's okay with that.
Yeah.
Because he's done it and he's okay with it. So he thinks everyone else would be okay with doing the same.
Why would you care about your woman, in a sense? It's
She's fine. She's at the hospital. It's not about that.
We need to finish the trousers. Yeah. It's like priorities.
I'm going to take you with me is what he keeps saying.
Yeah.
When I move up, you're going to move up at the same time.
Because it's the whole thing that they are partners, even though Buster is under no illusion that they are partners.
Yeah, Buster knows.
So and then, because then Walker, he's left by himself to finish all these multiple pairs of trousers.
Yeah.
And then Darlene comes back, and basically he's like, I'm not going to give you money, Darlene, leave me alone.
And she says, they recount how they met.
Yeah.
When they were young and how they decided to come to England or whatever. And how Darlene is like, I should have stayed in Guyana and my uncle would have given me money to open a restaurant.
Basically, I followed you and, and I have nothing now. She abandoned her life because of him, followed him because she kind of thought, we're going to have this beautiful future all together. But Walker wants to have a beautiful future by himself.
So they're having this conversation, but Mr. Nat, who was the wholesaler who ordered all those trousers to be hemmed, enters furiously because some of the trousers have been sewed shut, the leg holes. And that was done by Horace, who was trying to get back at Walker.
Yeah.
And so that's a whole lot of work that has to be undone and then redone. And Darlene offers.
Yeah.
She offers to help him with it.
And he's
Actually,
like, no.
even before Mr. Nat comes in, she's like, why didn't you ask me to help you?
Yeah. And he's like,
Yeah, which is like so stupid.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'll help you.
Yeah, and then Mr. Nat comes in furious, but then him and Darlene kind of have a lovely conversation, and
they connect.
They really connect. And again, like, he shows everything is showing Darlene grace and understanding but her husband, basically. This is how it seems like. Walker then pleads with him, basically, I'm gonna fix the trousers, and Mr. Nat is kind of like, I've given you this chance, even though he may be understood that this task was way too big, and he kind of threatens to go to the competitor or whatever, however they called.
Also, Mr. Nat shares what happened with his marriages because he was married as well. You see similarities between Mr. Nat, who has become successful, who was an immigrant to this country,
as well.
and who also went through hardships because he was an immigrant,
Yeah.
and how maybe Walker is on the path to end up like Mr. Nat, who's alone now.
Yeah.
His kids don't talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, his wife left him, and because he was so focused on the business, and he admits that.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and he realizes that, it's kind of, too late now or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm just going to do my business and whatever.
But also, there was an interesting parallel because I feel like Walker was trying to play this card, I need this, like nobody kind of gives me a chance or whatever. You have no idea how difficult it is. And then Mr. Nat was like, I started from zero again. I was like, I understand.
Exactly.
Basically, don't try to even play this game with me.
Exactly.
So that was very interesting. It's like, but anyway.
Oh, and then there is Darlene and Walker are getting to another tiff, and he's like, let me come home with you. And he doesn't really come home at all.
No. But he needs her help now.
Yeah.
Because so he changes his tune basically like, oh, well, I'll come.
But then she's like,
together.
You can sleep alone, sir.
Yeah.
And then he kind of drifts off to sleep, and then we get another dream sequence, and some more clothes fly in from the heavens, and some platforms fall in with more employees in uniforms and more clients and stuff, and suits getting tailored and made and stuff.
Because he wants to make suits. It's his big
and
dream.
He wants to call it walkers and just have a really nice suit making business. Is his dream.
And then Courtney comes in, and then he was like, he wakes Walker up, and the dream is still there for some reason. But
yeah. And then
we're still in the big dream set. So they have a little convo. He's like, oh no. So he realized he slept overnight.
And Courtney is like, Walker's basically like, you young people are lazy. You guys don't know what you want, yada, yada. And then Courtney's like, you don't know what it's like to be a young person in Britain today.
Yeah.
And there are no jobs for us, There's not enough jobs to go around. So, of course, people are getting angry and stuff.
And getting into trouble.
Exactly.
And shit.
So,
Again, I feel like, like Walker has this... Like, nobody has it hard, just him. It feels like, no, but, he
really is leading into the respectability politics. Like, if I put my head down, if I don't shake the boat, if I just do my work, then I'll be able to succeed. Which, that's a coin toss right there.
Yeah, but also he's not, because you could argue he's successful now because he has his business.
In some way,
it's not enough for him. He
wants bigger, and... It comes at, like, it doesn't that caption, it comes at a cost.
Yeah, that he, well...
Anyway.
Yeah,
let's keep going.
So they continue to work.
Buster comes back.
Oh, and I think during this time we get introduced to a second ghost. I mean, a different apparition, which is a guy in a
Nike tattoo and a do-rag.
Yeah.
And a do-rag and headphones.
Yes.
But then the background music becomes a little bit more...
Oh yeah, there's a Little Sims start playing for no reason in the 1970s at some point.
Yeah, it was like, it got a little more like boom.
Yeah.
Because
the whole is like, I was like, I love Little Sims is one of my favorite artists, but why is she here
because
in the 1970s?
We need to show how urban it is with his urban...
Because it's future and the past connect.
Exactly. Anyway,
we love it.
Courtney brings more trousers.
Oh yeah,
they're still working, trousers. And they still need another person to help. Horace comes back. And it's like, I'll continue to help you. I'm sorry. And they actually get into a fight, though, at first.
Yeah, because he's like, Horace, what the hell? What did you do with the trouser? And then Horace wants to talk to Walker about something, and we don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
He basically tells Walker that he wants to marry Darlene.
Walker's wife. Who they are still married.
Yeah. So obviously Walker is not super amused about the idea.
Darlene comes in too, and she's like... Yeah, that's correct.
That's what I want. Yeah.
I'm taking myself and Janet off your hands.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about this anymore.
It's okay.
Because someone else is going to take care of me because you obviously don't want to.
Yeah. And obviously they then start, a fight and they,
And what happens before this is that they are in the home stretch of of finishing
Yeah.
the actual job. So the
Yeah.
dream is just in reach, and then he gets this news that his wife is
leaving him.
want to divorce him. Yeah.
Then they almost done. Basically, Horace and Darlene leave. Mr. Nat comes with a check.
Yep. The check.
Yeah, his whole dream, it's happening to him. Buster still doesn't have his child thing, and he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm so happy, So they both celebrate the check. But then he is like, yeah, I really need to see my wife.
But Walker again is like, no, stay, have a
Yeah.
drink with me. Let's celebrate.
Yeah, because this is big for me.
And I'm gonna take you with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Anyway, Walker phones the hospital and finds out that his wife has had the baby.
Yeah.
And he said, tells Buster that he has a son now.
Yeah.
And so Buster is also trying to not seem so excited,
Yeah, but he's super excited.
but he's like super excited about it, that he has a son now. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is crazy as well. Tomorrow.
I know.
Anyway.
I know.
And then, Buster leaves. And then Walker looks at the check and he sees the check. He holds it in his hand and looks at it. And then,
Makes a call to buy the shop.
yeah, he makes a call to the realtor.
Shop from the dreams.
Come back in.
Come back in. The ghosts come back in. And for someone who is left completely alone, you'd think maybe he would be like, oh shit, is it this worth it? But no. But he
Well,
just
he did
smiles.
say a line saying, "Hope you won't be like me," when Buster left, in relation to fatherhood, I think.
Oh yeah.
But maybe in relation to everything else. But he still didn't seem that regretful.
No, because he smiles.
Yeah.
He smiles in this big, big shop. Blackout.
And that is the end
And that is
of
the end.
Alterations.
So again, shout out to National Theatre Access Guide for
Reminding us
what
actually happened, because we surely would not have remembered. So
let's go straight back.
to get fresh takes.
Fresh takes.
Go.
Well, that was a whole bunch of nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
No, that's not true. The man said I want to buy my shop, and he didn't.
And that was the only thing that happened. Nothing else really happened.
God. No,
It
you're
was-
forgetting the ghosts of Christmas past and future.
Yeah, past and future. I was like, what the hell?
No, this
Look, guys,
this
look.
generation.
We don't need to have interesting, abstract transitions between each moment. If it's gripping, we can go all the way through without those transitions.
What is? Do you directors feel like
have to do it.
doing character work is not enough directing? Like, why do you need to add some weird ass shit?
Because-
just to be like, oh, look at my
Maybe
directorial
they
choice.
exactly.
It's not about
We don't
you.
need the transitions. We don't need it.
The ghosts came in 6,000 times. Okay, yeah, they did. Yeah, where we came from, where we going,
I
and
can't believe homie came out of there with
How
a
many
Nike
times?
tracksuit.
how many times are we gonna have them as well?
Too
We
many.
get it. Generations. Yes.
Windrush, yes, we get it. I came to this country with nothing, we get it.
Yeah, and now
But the thing is, like, it was the same conversation in different ways over and over. Actually, not even in different ways. It was the same way over and over and over again.
because I reckon when this play came out, it was maybe
More relevant
yeah,
and-
because the riots happened
Yeah.
like kind of in recent memory,
Yes.
all that. So maybe, and there were not a lot of plays talking about Caribbean experience. So like,
No.
So probably it was revolutionary, but now,
And this is not giving us, it's not giving me anything.
No.
I didn't know what to learn except for Caribbean men aren't shit. Is that what I learned from this? And what's crazy is when we try to recount this in the studio, I'm not going to remember anything.
Nothing.
I'm not going to remember. I don't know, because there was no plot.
It was the same fucking thing over and over again. It's just more and more trousers.
Like, I can't remember what happened. A, B, C, D, E. I can't even remember right now.
No, I like the set.
Of course, and the costuming, fantastic. Darlene's wig, magnificent wig, magnificent feathered wig. Oh my God, I need that wig right now.
I'm sorry. You know when the first reveal of his dream, so many dream sequences in this.
But the thing is, it wasn't even full dream sequences. It was just a light change. Yes, it was so weird.
Yeah, but then you know when the big atelier finally came down, which was quite cool.
Yes.
But then it didn't make no sense. It just stayed when he was awake. You know what I mean? It didn't.
Yeah, why did it stay so long? It was supposed to be reality hitting.
Exactly. Like, and then it just stays. And it's like, oh, okay. And then it came back again. And again.
Up in here.
I feel like, why are we even...
Thanks, ladies.
Sorry,
Trying to get rid of my last paper.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't...
And like funny, there was funny parts and like zingers, yes, of course, and stuff.
No, I mean the actors were great. I feel like
it was, of course, they were great. It's not their fault though. It felt like a big ball of nothing. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of that meme. Are you ready for nothing? It's like that. That's exactly what I felt the whole time.
It was literally because, to be fair, from the animation in the beginning, we just said like it's already too long.
Oh wait,
here we didn't. Here we go.
Here we go. I hope you're hungry for nothing.
That's what I felt. 30 minutes in, I was like, this is gonna be. There's nothing here.
But yeah.
All right. Well.
All right. Yeah. Well, I guess see you in the studio.
Yeah,
we'll see.
sure.
Yeah. Sure. I guess. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So
we loved it.
Yeah.
Clearly. Yeah.
And that's the episode of We're Just Haters, the theater podcast. No, dead ass.
Yeah.
Because we said, you all heard what we said. It felt like nothing and it was going in circles for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we didn't learn a thing. It didn't illuminate anything new to us.
It didn't change the main character didn't change.
He did not change.
The only change was that
his financial circumstances. Yeah. That was the only thing that changed. He didn't really learn anything.
No.
Yeah, his wife and daughter, but they're not really a part of his life no way because he lives independently of them anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
And like the end with the smile, it just showed that he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah, but guess what? He's gonna be when he's in the old folks' home. Like, why doesn't my daughter come to see me? Why don't nobody come to see me?
Yeah.
That's because you. Anyway, that's how we felt about it. The best thing about it was the costuming.
Yeah, the costumes were cool. I mean, the set too.
Yeah,
the set was lovely.
I love the visual of having everything hanging up like that. Is gorgeous.
It's just I feel like they revealed that the dream set when it expands way too soon, and
it should have been
a few
at the very
times.
end. Yeah.
So when it happens at the end, it doesn't have the same effect because we know exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would have just teased it.
Another thing is that there's 5 speaking roles in this. There was another 6 speaking roles. There was another 5 people in this specifically to do these transitions, specifically to be in the dream sequences. And it's just like, wow, that's a lot of money spent. But when you look it up, they're all understudies and standbys. So most of them are.
I'm sure. But
but people are just trying to be so directy.
That's the thing. And it's like, as we said, it's like, what is happening? And we keep seeing those weird directorial choices when people just add stuff for no reason.
This would be cool.
Yeah.
Change the lighting here.
But then those ghosts, again, I don't know how many times they came out. We like even laughed, like, oh my God, the ghosts are coming. You know what I mean? We were like laughing. So they came in like a handful of times, maybe even more. They kept coming out.
Yeah. It was like when he kind of would snap out of the present and think about the past or think about the futures when they would kind of appear. It gets tired and a cliche device.
It felt like, because we do have these, understudies, we need to use them.
And spend our money wisely.
Yeah, use them for no reason. So they did.
Yeah, so they won't be just sitting in the dressing room waiting.
Yeah, but come on, it's extra costume. It didn't make no sense.
That's true, that is extra costumes, you're right.
Extra costuming, extra everything for no reason. It just made it, to be fair, minus the ghosts, I think I would have tolerated this more.
Probably, because they just kept popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah. We did say that it was like sitcom-y, slapsticky kind of situation, but it felt like not all characters were living in the same universe, if it makes sense. Again.
Yeah, because we were getting drama.
Yeah.
We were getting sitcom.
Very real. Yeah,
we were
because,
getting
like,
realism. All of it.
For example, Darlene. She was so, like, real and raw.
And serious.
Yeah, and then...
Because it was a serious thing she had to deal with, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and then Walker's character...
He's a bit out there, a bit too big.
Out there. He was
a bit too big. And it was weird, because his energy levels, like, the way it was done, it felt you really, really could not find one redeeming quality in this man at all.
No, but I think
especially based on the way he acted.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's why I'm confused because I told you he's one of my favorite actors. I love him, but it was just weird. Like whatever the choices he decided to do, and just be this kind of very one-notey. And I agree, it was difficult to even care.
Yeah, because to be honest, I don't care if he gets the shop or not or whatever, because he's not giving me a reason to.
He doesn't really go on any journey.
So you really are shit.
Yeah, so you're like,
so you start the same
yeah.
and you end the same.
Yeah.
So conflicting energies, people at different levels and doing different styles, and it kind of... But it was not just that. I mean, it's the text too. The story, that's the main issue here.
Yeah.
And the story's the main issue.
And what's interesting... Then now I'm kind of want to read the original play. I'm not going to remember actually what's the difference, but like I'm very intrigued what was added.
Yeah,
because it didn't feel like it was brought to today.
Yeah, and it goes to ask that question that we asked after seeing the importance of being earnest is, have we truly just gotten better at getting to the point? Because that show is, 80 years younger than Ernest, but it has some of those similar problems where we just talk about the same thing for 15 minutes.
Yeah, without saying like
anything. Yeah.
Maybe
we have gotten better at it.
Yeah. And it's interesting as well. We talked about like why to bring things back. I guess I read that this was a part of the kind of like a project that they do, like bringing back like seminal and important Black British playwright work. If it's that, yeah, fair, cool. But I don't know why we needed to do this play.
But who knows how much they were able to change? Because again,
I hope they didn't make it worse.
The estate of the playwright may have been like, no, you can't do any of these changes. Maybe they tried to do something.
I mean, in Europe, it's so normal to just like chop things and put things in. That's why like dramaturgs are such a big thing. But maybe because like we don't. I don't even know why it is. Is it because we are more relaxed about like copyright?
That's probably it. People want to get paid and get the proper credit of for their work. So I think the Anglosphere is a bit more sensitive to that.
I guess so. And I guess because they're translations, nobody would ever know what you've done with your play.
Exactly.
Because like I remember I worked with this Scottish playwright when I was like in drama school. He was writing a new play for us, and I worked on his other play, and basically it was very successful. It got translated to multiple languages, and I remember I asked him, "Oh, hasn't been translated to Lithuanian or something?" And he's like, "No, it hasn't." And then it turns out one of the Lithuanian theatre directors, like very prominent one, done that play like 10 years ago or something, and he had no idea because obviously he never bothered telling him that he was doing his play. He just did it. He just
went ahead and translated it.
So that's why I'm like, maybe we're more relaxed about copyright laws.
Anyway, that was our review. That's how we felt about it. Okay, The National, what's going on here? All right, well, I think that's all we have to say. Any side quests?
So I did go and watched Years again. Years that we watched in Amsterdam.
But in English.
So transferred from Almeida with the original cast. But basically, to make long story short, it felt it was made safe for British audience consumption. So a lot of scenes that we loved, like, for example, this scene that we talked about where a young actor and the oldest actress were, you know, having sex on stage, you know, and they were like passionately kissing and all that in Amsterdam, which was such a tender and also, I don't know, uncanny scene, let's say, but very powerful.
And very well choreographed.
Very well choreographed.
Intimacy coordinator, you know, thumbs up,
but
triple
they were,
thumbs
like,
up with
going
that one.
for it.
Really?
Yeah, and it was so it was like interesting and intimate and powerful.
It felt like, wow, I'm looking at this intimate open. It's kind of, you know, it's a bit awkward when you're like, someone is like...
Yeah, like a young girl and old lady as well. But it was super cool. But they didn't do like that. They did like kind of fake kissing, you know, like caressing a little bit. But it was just...
Be brave.
I know. So I didn't really like it. And I don't know, was it me?
Well, the only thing we keep hearing about it is people keep fainting, so...
People keep fainting, yeah. There's someone who gurgled behind me as well, so...
Man, that's bad.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything lately. I mean, I did finish that show that I told you to watch, but you were like, it's boring. I did finally finish it. It's called Paradise on Disney Plus with Sterling K. Brown in it. And again, started off good, then it just really just... And then it got okay, slightly better towards the end, but it was all... But people just can't be consistent for some reason, and some character choices were totally... And there was hella flashbacks in this. 60% of it was flashbacks.
Just set it then. You know what I mean? If it's more than 60% flashbacks, do the show about that.
You can watch it if you want, give your feedback. A lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But also, you know...
That's what I'm saying. I feel like maybe... Yeah.
Are we too critical? I don't know.
I don't know.
Does it make me not be able to enjoy things like I once did before I became a theater maker? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. And the thing is, we do see a lot of theater as well, and we don't go to it as there's not sense of, you know, occasion or night out,
because we do it so frequently.
I know, so it's kind of like a part of, you know, a job, I guess.
The thing is, also, it's also my parents' fault, because we used to critically analyze things after we came out of shows in the car on the way home.
You should. And
so,
the thing is, like,
you know, that too.
No, and the whole reason of why we started doing this, it was just so we have, I don't know, outlet to have that critical engagement, you know, and not just look at something and be like, okay. You know, like, not passively consume things and be more active participants.
Yes.
You know?
The emancipated spectator.
Here we go.
Jacques Rancière. Read the book, people.
Emancipate yourself from being passive spectator.
Yes.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Because spectating itself is not passive.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. People shouldn't see it that way. Anyway, read that book, if anyone knows.
Read that book. But yeah, long story short... We have to stop going to the National.
I think that is. We just need to start, like, you know, choosing random shit.
Back to small theaters.
Yeah, that's our issue. And I think it's because we saw some really shit stuff in some small theaters last year. And so we were just like, okay, let's go back to the big boys for a little bit and see what's up there. And we weren't disappointed completely from the big boys.
No.
But
of course
it's now starting to go back in the other direction. So maybe it's time to...
And it's just like an expensive disappointment to go to the big boys.
Exactly. Like, there's shows that we saw last year that did not get an episode. Why? Because it was so bad that we couldn't even talk about it.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna see. Maybe we're gonna see something a bit more obscure.
Yeah, something in a pub or like in someone's dank basement or something.
Yeah, I know, and I feel like we need to go back to like and find something that we like finally. Yeah, because
this is exhausting hating. I'm telling you, it's a full-time job.
I hate hating.
Yes, because we really want to love.
We do.
We really want to love. Anyway, we should probably stop talking now.
Yeah, see you next time.
See you at the next episode.
And it's not going to be from the National. Promise.
Yeah. See you later. Bye-bye.